Welcome to Whispering Loudly, the award-winning Workshop Whisperer podcast, as featured by Apple, with Rachael Evans, the #1 automotive business coach in the aftermarket, thanks to titanium sponsor Mechanic Desk and gold sponsor Podium.
Whispering Loudly is the Workshop Whisperers podcast. We have Chris Notte with us here today, and he's the chairman of AASDN in WA. Can you explain to everyone what AASDN is all about? And welcome to the show.
Sure. Thank you for having me. So AASDN stands for Australian Automotive Service Dealers Network, and basically in a nutshell, we're a select group of quality, independent, like-minded workshops. We share common goals and genuinely want to help each other.
Excellent. And how long have you been involved with AASDN, Chris?
I was just thinking that last night. I think about 5 years now.
And in your role as chairman, I guess from talk amongst your members and even for yourself as the owner of a workshop, Auto Plus WA, what do you find are the biggest issues facing independent auto repair shop owners right now?
I think there's three. Number one would be restriction of technical information and just information in general. Number two would be the skilled tech shortage and to some extent service advisors as well. And number three, today's massively diverse car park in Australia.
Yeah, three pretty key issues there. You know, reflecting on the three things that you've said there, do you have any ideas as to how we could solve them as independents?
Yeah, well, with number one, with the restriction of technical information, I know AAA's been doing heaps of work on that.
Yep, the Australian Automotive Aftermarket Association.
Yep, so AASDN's really got behind that. We've had local government officials come out to the workshops and really see firsthand the issues that we're facing. The other thing with the information that really helps is it's not just the dealer level information that can be a problem. Sometimes it's the information that only comes with experience. And I think that's where being a part of the association or some place like AASDN that has 40 other workshops to feed off, it can help point us in the right direction or give us the answer that we need, which can really help with that issue.
And what are your thoughts on the tech shortage? So the federal government does realise that there is a shortage of qualified technicians. What are your thoughts around that?
For starters, if you're a good tech, you're not going to have a problem getting a job. Our approach has been to find team members with the right attitude, then train them. So I know there's always the risk in investing the time in training them, which can be difficult, that you could lose them. But we believe that if you create the right culture and environment, that the time you have spent on them, you will be rewarded in the long run by them sticking around. So whilst the government catches up, I think that's the best way to go because most of the good ones are generally tied up.
Definitely. And the third issue there, any thoughts around that?
Yeah, so I can see pros and cons, and we see this in AASDN. We've got specialised workshops and diverse workshops. So shops that only work on a particular make or from a particular country, and some that will just accept anything to a point, or more diverse. So AASDN has workshops that do both very well. At our workshop, we've chosen a diverse workshop, which with the car park can be a big challenge. You really have to know what you can and can't do and say no to it, and then choose the equipment, the tooling and the training that's going to best suit what you do.
Yep.
I can definitely, the pro that I can see by having the diverse workshop, it definitely gives us a lot more opportunities. Fleet companies, sublet, insurance work, we're not restricted on what we can and can't do. The biggest con would be the learning. Like we might have a model come in we've never seen before, have to invest time learning it, may never see it again, and then have a new one come in and have to do the same thing again. So that's where being a specialist can really help.
Take a smoko and review us on your Apple Podcast app or wherever you listen.
Now, Chris, I know from personal experience that AASDN in WA invests very heavily in both technical and business training. What are some of the programs you've put on for your members over the past few years?
Yeah, we do. We invest heavily in the training, which is all subsidised because we see heaps of value for the members here. So in the last year or so, we've done diesel training, including on-car and off-car. We have free-play scan tool nights. This sort of training is always really popular. Get different scan tool suppliers in, everyone with different vehicles, and everyone gets a chance to see a scan tool working alongside another one on different cars so they can best see what works in their workshop. Transmission, DPF, batteries, thermo imaging, Picoscope training with one of our own members, Chad, has run an in-house Picoscope training night. And we've also had one with ARCA. We've had our own diagnostic challenge night, aircon and even tyres. We've also got to do business training too. So we've had different types of business training from yourself, which has been awesome. We've done accounting, customer service, business metrics, first aid, front counter, and of course we've got our social events as well, which is a good chance after all the technical training to let your hair down.
Very important. So there is a lot on your training calendar during the year, which is obviously a massive benefit to the workshops that are members. What are some of the transformations that you've seen in some of your members as a result of having access to this kind of cutting-edge stuff?
I think the ability to move forward in the shop in what they want to do, knowing that you can maybe be able to work on different models that you haven't before because you have access to another workshop who can perhaps help you. They might have the tooling that can help you. And speaking of tooling, so like being in AASDN, we have our own tool library as well. So there might be a particular job you wouldn't normally take on, but because you have access to the tools, you don't have to invest the $600 to use it once. You might be more likely to take on the job.
Yeah.
So all these things have seen growth in the AASDN businesses.
Brilliant. So in addition to the training, what are some of the benefits of membership, just so that we're clear for our listeners?
Aside from all the ones we just listed above, which it has, training is a big focus, and the tool library, which we mentioned, like being a member, you also get access to automate training. That comes as part of being an AASDN member.
That's a great value add.
It is, yeah, it's huge. It really tops on our focus on training and the technical side. It really hits that point. I think just in associations in general, though, one of the biggest things is being able to talk to someone else who really understands what you're going through. Like, you can talk to your mate or something about what's happening in the shop, but that's totally different to talking to another workshop owner who really understands what you're going through.
So there's a whole networking/community element to your association.
100%. Yeah, definitely make you feel like you're not alone. If you just want some advice or you want to just be able to vent or have a good laugh, doing it with like-minded people, I think is a huge benefit.
Want more tips to help your auto repair shop grow? Join our Facebook group Under the Hood with the Workshop Whisperer.
Now, Chris, how can our listeners get in touch with you if they're in WA and they're interested in accessing some of these wonderful benefits?
So if you want to get in contact with us, or if you're interested in joining AASDN, jump on Facebook and go to our AASDN WA page, send us a message, and then we'll be in contact with you and go from there.
Brilliant. And just to clarify for our listeners, AASDN is AASDN.
AASDN, yes.
Fantastic. Well, Chris Knott, Chairman of AASDN in WA, thank you so much for coming on Whispering Loudly, the Workshop Whisperer podcast. It's definitely been a privilege to work with the association in the capacity that I have in the past, and I look forward to our continued working relationship in the future. Now, if you would like your questions answered in relation to growing your auto repair shop, we'd love for you to send us an email to admin@workshopwhisperer.com, and we will answer your question directly on our next Workshop Whispers episode. But for now, that's all from me this week. Until you hear my voice again, make sure you keep those repair orders nice and high.
Thanks for tuning in to Tune Up Your Auto Repair Shop, Whispering Loudly, the award-winning Workshop Whisperer podcast, as featured by Apple with Rachael Evans, the #1 automotive business coach in the aftermarket. Thanks to titanium sponsor Mechanic Desk and gold sponsor Podium.